Welcome to the Reflect Podcast, the world's first 100% AI-generated podcast. You're listening to the Crypto Edition. Here is where we break down trending Solana crypto projects with sharp analysis, sentiment insights, and risk factors. No fluff, just facts, not financial advice. Crypto is wild, risky, and unpredictable. Always do your own research. Let's dive in.
All right, mate, let's kick this off with a bit of a dive into Hood's price action. It's taken a tumble, hasn't it? Down more than 20% in the last 24 hours. I mean, that's the kind of drop that would send metalheads into a mosh pit of despair.
Right? It's a significant dip for sure. The price is sitting at about approximately 1/10 of a cent as of February 6th, 2025. And more importantly, the market cap is still holding steady-ish at a bit over $42 million. But here's the catch. The trading volume in the last 24 hours has dropped under $17 million.
Wait, so nearly half the market cap's been churned in a single day? That's like selling out a massive stadium gig, but finding out half the tickets were sold at the door. Feels unstable, yeah?
Exactly. It's an indicator that there's probably a lot of speculative trading going on. Add to that the total supply of Hood tokens, 45 billion. That's
Massive. Absolutely massive. I mean, when you've got that many tokens floating around, it's like trying to sell merch at every gig on the tour. It waters down the cool factor.
right? It impacts price dynamics. With such a large supply, even a small increase in demand doesn't necessarily spike the price, and that can shake retail investors' confidence. If the price remains stagnant or volatile, they might back away.
Yeah, and even with that community-first messaging, what was it again? This project is more than a cryptocurrency. It's a movement. I mean, inspiring words for sure. But Eddie, you got to wonder if the numbers are matching the rhetoric here.
That's the crux of it. The broader crypto market is showing some wild trends lately too. So Hood's drop could partly reflect an overall caution or market adjustment, but their message of decentralization and financial empowerment is still resonating with a segment of their audience. It's just
hard to keep the faithful singing along when the gig's looking a bit shaky. Let's just say the encore better be worth it.
Bobby, speaking of shaky gigs and investor confidence, there's another big issue that deserves a spotlight: centralization. Hood's got around 81,000 token holders, yeah? But here's the kicker. The top wallets only control about 10% the supply. That's a nod in the right direction because it favors decentralization, which is a good thing.
Oh, massive, mate. The reverse would be like, what? A headlining band where the drummer's cousin owns all the tickets? It's just not a good look, is it? But in this case, it seems more even and balanced. So there's some optimism.
Exactly. It reduces the anxiety over the risk of market manipulation. If those wallets held a much larger percentage and decided to cash out, the impact would be, well, shall we say, devastating? Fortunately, this doesn't seem to be happening here in the current holder analysis.
Yeah, it's something to keep an eye on. I mean, if those numbers were reversed, Eddie, it'd be like cutting the power mid guitar solo in front of 10,000 people. Chaos. Absolute chaos.
Right? But we've got some balance in there today. However, we haven't seen any recent news or strategic updates from the Hood team to address futures and roadmap. It's kind of radio silence, which, creates uncertainty about the direction of the project.
Yeah, you can't just leave folks hanging, hoping for the next lyric sheet to drop. This lack of updates, it's got to be shaking investors' faith. I mean, who's going to stick around in the front row if the band doesn't even show up for soundcheck?
That's a great analogy. And let's be real, uncertainty is just gasoline on the fire of fear. It gives those major wallet holders even more influence over the market. They could dump their tokens, tank the price, and leave smaller investors holding the bag. That's where decentralization, or the lack of it, becomes a critical issue.
Oh, mate, it reminds me of the time when a certain famous band, I won't name names, let their manager control all the merch sales. By the end of the tour, they were selling coffee mugs to make ends meet. Centralization never ends well.
And that's the cautionary tale, isn't it? Whether it's crypto assets or rockstar management, putting too much power in too few hands can go sideways fast. With Hood, it's this delicate balance, building a strong community while ensuring that control isn't concentrated in just a few players.
But right now, they're kind of walking that tightrope without a safety net.
Absolutely. And it's tough to inspire investor confidence when governance mechanisms don't seem to fully align with their decentralization goals. Right, Bobby? So, speaking of uncertainty and how it plays into investor confidence, let's shift gears to the security side of things. The Hood token's been rated as low risk, which sounds reassuring at first, but if you dig a little deeper, you'll see it's not quite as straightforward as it seems.
Oh, absolutely, mate. Low risk can mean a lot of things. It's like a record review saying, decent recording quality. It doesn't tell you if the songs are any good, does it?
Exactly. And in this case, the big concern is about those newly deployed contracts. They don't have a proven track record, so there could be hidden vulnerabilities that no one's spotted yet.
Right, like untested gear on stage. Everything could seem fine in soundcheck, but then boom, a dodgy amp blows during the encore. That unpredictability's a killer.
It really is. And speaking of unpredictability, we also have to consider the lack of recent development activity around Hood. Without updates or new features rolling out, there's just not much momentum to reassure users and investors that progress is happening.
Yeah, it's like that band that promises a killer comeback album and then nothing. Radio silence. Fans move on and the hype fizzles out.
Precisely. But, on the flip side, the DeFi initiatives they're aiming for, like community governance and staking rewards, those do have the potential to add real utility for token holders. If executed well, these features could kind of shift the narrative.
Yeah, big if, though. I mean, the skeptics aren't exactly shy, are they? Community governance can sound great, but if 3 wallets control half the tokens, is it really democratic? Or is it just a puppet show?
That's a valid point. But if they can get those systems working and earn trust, the potential's definitely there. That sense of financial empowerment they keep pushing, it does resonate with the right audience. And hey, who doesn't love the underdog story?
Oh, for sure. But Eddie, don't forget there's another story in the room. The name Robinhood. It's a double-edged sword, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. On one hand, Robinhood evokes this iconic imagery of taking from the rich, giving to the poor, total grassroots appeal. But on the other, there's that awkward elephant in the room, the actual Robinhood trading platform.
Awkward doesn't even cover it. It's like naming your up-and-coming band after an already famous act. You might get some attention, but not all press is good press, yeah?
Right. It muddies the waters. And some folks might associate Hood with the controversies surrounding the trading platform, things like halted trades and public backlash. That baggage doesn't do this project any favors.
Yeah, and it's a shame, really, because if you strip away the associations and just focus on the narrative, everyday people banding together for financial independence, it's kind of a beautiful thought, isn't it?
It really is. And if they can clean up some of these concerns like centralization and transparency, there's a chance they can live up to that vision. But until then, this is one gig that still feels like it's warming up.
Or tuning up. Either way, they've got work to do if they want to headline the crypto stage.
For sure. And that's where we'll leave it for today, folks. Thanks for tuning in. And remember, whether you're investing in crypto or smashing out power cords, always do your research. Until next time.
Cheers, everyone. Keep it real.
That's a wrap for the Reflect Podcast, Crypto Edition. Thanks for tuning in. Remember, this is 100% AI generated, so always verify the data and do your own research. Crypto is fast, volatile, and risky. Subscribe, share, and stay curious. Check out more at reflectpodcast.com and see you next time.